Bramborough back with some Grand Tactician Civil War CSA campaign in the 1.06 version. Okay. So we're fighting a Confederate States campaign. We're in early winter, as we were at the start of the last episode. Last episode advanced time very little because most of it was taken up in a battle up here in Northern Virginia. So before we get into that, a couple of viewer comments from yesterday's episode. One person asked, why only one mine, iron mine? The Confederacy had several. The Confederacy, historical Confederacy, did have several. I have read mention of some in North Carolina, probably North Georgia, probably some in other places. But the fact remains, in this game, there is one. That's it. And you can't, unlike other industries, one cannot build a mine. It's whatever's there at game start, that's it. And so the one we have for the Confederacy is here at Knoxville. And so upgrading that one source is pretty important. We also have only one lead mine, which is used in ammunition production, and that's kind of over here in this area just west of Lynchburg. I will be upgrading that one as well. There is also only one copper mine in the south, and it's down here kind of near Chattanooga, I think, if I remember correctly. That said, you know, it's one mine, it's one tier, it's only tier 1, but as far as I've ever seen in the past, it seems to keep up with whatever copper demand that we have. So I won't be upgrading that unless something happens to indicate that I need to. I've never seen that before. Copper just isn't used very much. It's used in the production of bronze at foundries, and bronze is in turn used only for one thing. I believe the production of artillery, which is important. It's not insignificant at all. It's just that the one copper mine seems to keep up with what's needed. So, okay, there we go. But as far as why only one of each, as opposed to the historical record, and why one apparently cannot build another iron mine, I don't know the answers to those questions. One would have to ask the developers, and I am not one. So your guess is as good as mine. Okay. Another commenter was asking, and it is interesting, and I don't have an answer, but has been, before we fought this battle here at Manassas, just in the last episode, that was the culmination of a siege that had been going on for a while between our two Confederate armies here and McDowell's Army of Northeastern Virginia. And several times over the last couple of episodes, we had looked at the siege battle window to see how the progress was going, and casualties were quite low. It wasn't a huge problem. However, it was pretty notable that we were taking more casualties than the Union were. And one commenter speculated that is it maybe because the Union has better intelligence than we do? Well, I don't know a way to tell that. I don't know that the Union had better intelligence than we do, because it's quite possible. I'm not saying it's unlikely. I'm not sure of a way to tell what the enemy's intel level is, so there's no way to check that, really. I mean, I guess if somebody started digging into the game files and looking at that stuff, they could, but that's just not it's just not something I do. It doesn't seem like a very obvious way that it should explain that particular dynamic, but I can't say, nah, that's not it, for the simple reason that I don't know why we were taking more casualties. My my best guess, and again, it's speculation as well, is that it seemed to me that the casualties displayed in the siege window are reflective of the size of the army. And I think what's happening is that incoming replacements affect that number to the point where it is possible to actually have negative casualties because the incoming replacements are overcompensating for the combat losses to the point where the army's actually growing a little bit. That's what it looked to me like what was happening. And so that casualty number in the siege window isn't really a casualty number. It is more of a net loss or gain number for the army's overall size. Therefore, things like attrition, which would be happening on the campaign map anyway, whether there was a siege going on or not. So attrition and desertion and incoming replacements also affect that number. That just seems to be how it's working to me. And for some reason, the Union Army apparently was either experiencing a higher replacement rate or a lower attrition rate than our armies were. And again, that's speculation. I don't know. Okay. And then one commenter had a really interesting post on army composition, suggesting an idea of a really artillery-heavy, almost exclusively artillery army or corps, to the extent of like 20 or 25 battalions with just a couple of infantry to kind of screen and help with morale a little bit. But, almost all the firepower in artillery, which obviously is very asymmetric. And I think that's really interesting. Is it realistic? Should it work? Is it historical? I think the answer to all three of those questions is no. That shouldn't work. However, I bet it does. It sounds pretty neat, and it would be, the benefit to that would be it wouldn't take very much manpower at all. It'd be like only, it'd be way less than, it'd probably be like 4,000 or 5,000 men, depending on how many, kind of screening infantry brigades you wanted to put in there. Because a full-size artillery battalion is still only 240 men if they're at full strength. So you could have a division of 4 artillery battalions, and it still wouldn't be 1,000 men for a division. And then I was thinking, maybe put maybe like a small cav brigade in there, because cavalry gives a really nice morale boost. Presence of cavalry nearby is a separate morale modifier. And so the idea is you just line up masses and masses and masses of your guns, and they're going to get attacked, and some are going to get routed, but with all that artillery fire, they're just going to rout the enemy. And if they get charged, by and large, artillery doesn't do that much damage in this particular game compared to some others in terms of number of casualties inflicted. But it's got a big morale effect. And so the idea is to break rather than kill the enemy units. But if they do get close enough, canister hurts. That's one aspect where artillery can do pretty good damage in this game, is with canister. And canister is also just a enormous morale impact. So I think that would work, and I think that's interesting. And now, am I going to go and convert all my armies in this campaign to nothing but artillery? No, I'm not doing that. But I might form. I'm interested to try this idea. I might later on form a kind of an all arty core and just see how that works out on the battlefield map. So thanks for that suggestion. Now the poster said that's all you need. All you need is artillery. You can fight the entire campaign that way. And that may be true. I'm not ready to make that big a leap, okay? I'm not going to do that this campaign. But I might try the idea out with one core. Okay, so what's going on in the theaters? Well, in the Trans-Mississippi... Well, let's just to make sure I don't forget them. How are our engineers doing? Okay. Clark's still headed up here to build... slow going, marching up this road in winter. And... almost done with the telegraph station at Knoxville. Price is still in that battle. This battle lasted 5 days. And it ended on December 7th. So Price is still sitting there on his hill looking at... just looking at Fremont's forces balled up in that forest over there. And that'll take a couple more days on the campaign map to finish up. Sidney Johnston has reached Cairo and is in the process of capturing it. Okay. I'm pretty happy about that. Braxton Bragg has commenced his siege of Fort Pickens, and it is starting off in our favor. And I have no reason to think that it will not end in our favor. It just got started. Still 100 condition on the fort, and still 13 combat power on the fort firepower. And then that just leaves our Virginia armies, who just finished fighting McDowell and Patterson, both of whom should be retreating shortly. And toyed with the idea of then attacking McClellan's Army of Occupation, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Magruder's Peninsula Army is who took Fort Monroe, and he's on his way back up here to join the other two armies. And with that, let's see, is there anything else before we get going? Let's double check the projects here. And I am seeing some that I'm very, very interested in. But I don't know if I'm going to take them. Okay, so let's just review what we're doing with projects. On the political side, I'm primarily working on this railroad construction, looking toward building our second railroad, which will probably occur in the spring of 1862. I'm not really interested in any of these others. Economic subsidy. We've built some markets. I will probably build more markets. So I'm interested in market reform, and we're almost there. We just need a few more pennies to fill up before we're able to take market reform. In agricultural subsidies, I'm primarily interested in farm mechanization, because this is kind of an obscure manpower project in that it increases farm output specifically for crops. It doesn't increase the output of all the farm products, just crops. But it increases available volunteers by 10% per level. We have Farm Mech 1 already, and we're getting plus 10%. So it's actually twice as powerful as Recruit Offices is, because Recruit Offices were on Recruit Office 2, and we're getting 10% from that. So that's 5% per level, whereas Farm Mech is 10% per level. And we're not far from getting the next level of Farm Mech as well. And basically, I intend to pursue both of these projects until reaching a total of 50%, and we're at 30% now. 20% now. Maybe not that far. Maybe 40%. That seems pretty good. For industry, we could take either of the available industry subsidies, both of which I think are quite good. And in a future campaign, I'm going to try focusing on these. However, as we've been talking about, first priority for industry subsidy is to get that iron mine upgraded, and so I'm saving industry subsidy for that. For diplomatic, going for trade deals. And we already have one level of trade deal, and I'm going toward another. And we've talked before in a previous episode about the general strategy of relying on tariffs to bolster our government budget. This is one leg of that strategy. The Tariff Act is another leg of that strategy, and our Navy lifting the blockade is a third leg of that strategy. Okay. On the military projects, we have quite a few desirable ones available, including medium-range carbines, and it is very tempting to take this now. However, I think it's a slightly higher priority to get some more rifled artillery into the armies. So we're almost there. I think I'm going to take rifled artillery next, and that'll get us some 3-inch ordnance rifles and some wires. I'm kind of 50-50. Parrott rifles would get us the various Parrots. I think that if I foresaw more fort sieging going on, I think I'd go with the Parrots to get those 20 and 30 pound Parrots. So given a choice between the two, I'd probably go with the Parrots if I were playing Union, because I just find that in general, Union winds up sieging more forts during the course of the campaign than Confederacy does. But I think the 3-inch is a little bit better than the 10-pound Parrott. Not by much. I think it's just got a little bit better accuracy. So I'll probably go with rifled artillery. I'm not feeling the need to go for those 20 and 30 pound Parrots as the Confederacy. So that's kind of where we are on projects. Okay, let's get time rolling. We're doing on buildings down here. We could do there's some of those I would actually like to build, but I'm not going to. Almost done on K-Row. And there we go. Cairo is now Confederate controlled. It'll take a little bit more time advancing to turn these IIPs red. Yeah, there we go. Just a second ago, this was all still blue. Okay, this battle is done now, and Army of the Mississippi is retreating. Let's see what... Price is low on provisions after that. However, he's got 100% supply flow. Where he's getting it from is not entirely clear. I've got supply lines turned on, but it says 100%. No connected depots. Interesting. Well, I guess he's getting all his supply right there from Lebanon, huh? Doesn't really show in this tooltip. But it does say local supply. And yeah, he's getting what he needs from local supply. Right then. As predicted. Yeah, look, they're just kind of tag teaming here. Army of Indiana, 24,000 strong, coming Price's way. So, I'm thinking about what to do about this. The individual battle, not that concerned about. I mean, we keep getting situations where we've already beaten this army once, despite the fact that he's almost at 2 to 1 higher than we are in strength. But I'm just thinking about this just never-ending battle after battle after battle. And just, I mean, we're not losing anything from this, really. Price is able to deal with them. But we're not gaining anything either. Well, in any case, I mean, I'm not going to retreat. Peninsula Army has arrived. Army of Occupation is on the move. McClellan is on the river. So he may be coming down to attack Beauregard. Don't know. How big are these armies? Army of the Cumberland is up to, that's only 2,900 men. Army of the Ohio, 19,000 men. So we have a, quote, real army in Ohio as well. A fair number of guns, by the way, 90. Army of the West has moved over into Indiana. 7,000 men. Building a supply depot here. That's interesting. He's kind of moved 2 states away from where he started. And, huh. Oh, he's drawing supply from Rockbridge down here. I've seen that before. Okay. Come on down, in Indiana. I think that's probably still George Morrell. Low on food, but we've got plenty of ammo. We do have two brigades that are low on morale. I think they'll be fine. Okay, I'm gonna get in there, see what the map is like, deploy as necessary, etc., and I will be back. Okay, so it is mid-afternoon, day 1, and it's pretty similar to the previous battles we've had. It's the same map, Wilson Creek map. We are the defender, and we do hold the objective. However, in the previous battles, we had objectives down here where we could really leverage the, forcing water crossings here, in here, in here, to further complicate the Federals' advance on our position. And it's not quite that simple this time. Oak Hill is the objective up here in these woods. It is high ground, there's woods. But in looking at the route coming down from the Wire Road, there are multiple quite reasonable approaches. And I think it would have been good to do the same thing here and set up a similar position here for this ford, and then right in here for these crossings. However, they all appear pretty equally likely, and that I just felt like that was too big a stretch to spread out our relatively small army, which is only half the size of the Federals. So I've set up back here at the top of the slope, right near the objectives, so that no matter which way he comes, we're in place for it. But because of that, we don't have, water like within engagement range of our works. He does still have to cross the water, here at least, and it is a wide open slope that he's got to march up. And I've set the artillery right here on the edge of these woods, and they should have yeah, actually I need to move them up a little bit. I'd like for them to be able to hit that ford, but I've left kind of an open space right up in, you know what, I'm gonna put them like here. Will that do it? Not quite. No, I don't want to put them out in front. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. I just need to move them back. Remember to do that as they get closer. So artillery are in position to bombard this crossing as they come across, and then as they start to move up, I need to move them back into here behind the line of the breastworks. We do have the couple of units that are wavering. However, I think that's because they just fought that battle. And if we actually look at them, like Woodruff here is stable, 42%. However, fighting spirit is 64%. So that's the cap, and he's got plenty of modifiers there. I think he'll come back up probably to, well, 64 would be, I think that is called determined, or at least, or confident. Maybe it's confident. Anyway, I think he'll come back up, and I think Fulkerson will come back up. Currently nervous, but he's got the same fighting spirit cap as 66. He's back here in the woods. He's got plenty of modifiers. By the time fighting starts, he'll be back up to something serviceable for morale. And we've got Marmaduke over here under Fagan's divisional leadership, and he's going to come up here to scout the Wire Road and just keep an eye on the Federals as they advance. Okay. So a bit of scouting to do, waiting for the Federals to show up, and I will be back. Sure enough, and as expected, as it had to be, this is the only Federal entry point. Here's Morell's force in parade down the Wire Road toward the Wind Place. which really was pretty obvious. So now Marmaduke and Fagin are going to come back down this way to about here, because the key point is as they cross this ford. Is that a ford or a bridge? As they cross that ford, do they turn right toward the Manly and Skeg place? Or do they continue south past the Sharp place like they're coming from this direction? We shall see. Okay, well, the Yankees are not obliging me. They're not coming over this way to come at the objective from the north, which is pretty much what my position was designed for. They're continuing straight down here past the Sharp place, and so it looks like they're going to be coming at the objective from this direction over here, along like so. So this area is where the focus of this battle is going to be. I did put up some preemptive breastworks for that eventuality, but I don't think this ground is quite as good for us, right? Because the kind of ridgeline, such as it is, kind of tends along this axis, like so. Had Little's division in reserve. Those brigades, I've got them moving into these works over here now. However, we've only got about an hour of daylight left. I do not expect there to be fighting today, and there will be another deployment phase. So we'll do what we can, kind of reorienting the force overnight. And I will be back probably with the morning of day 2. Okay, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on day 2, December 13th, 1861, at the Third Battle of Lebanon. The Federals came on down here yesterday evening and went right into an advance. There just wasn't enough time for that to really develop. There was a tiny bit of skirmisher contact, and I think our howitzers fired a round or two. It wasn't worth recording. And so during the deployment phase, had just enough engineering points, was able to throw up a few more breastworks along here. And so this is kind of what the terrain looks like. It's basically flat. I mean, there's some little dips and stuff here and there, but this is not a commanding position in that we don't have a huge amount of elevation advantage. There's enough for the artillery to have good line of sight. That's about it. It is open, all right? So they're not going to have cohesion fatigue problems, but it's open ground that they're marching across. And we've got our breastworks, and that's just going to have to do. Little on the right, Pillow on the left, and I got a couple of little preemptive refuse the flank breastworks at the moment. They're empty. Pierce is sitting here kind of in reserve. He may have to man this. We'll see how their attack develops. And then Raines's 2 brigades are here in reserve where they can flex in either direction. Just looking at the orientation of the Federal brigades, it looks like they're trying to eventually kind of line up along this axis for their attack, which would strongly imply that the focus is going to develop toward the left end of our line. That's what it looks. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's just put Raines over here on these are old breastworks now. Now they're merely just terrain impediments. Let's put Raines over here. Oh, fuck. I thought I had Raines selected. I had Price selected. Okay, well, so... Alright, I gotta go put everybody back. Alright, I got everybody sorted again. It's not quite identical. There may be some brigade swap. Y'all got the idea. Let's press play. Okay. Peck and Reno here coming in. They're coming right in on the Texas Germans. And they're charging. Gonna have a little melee action here, it looks like. See how this turns out. Come on, Sol Ross. What is it? Okay. Charged by deter... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Engaging an enemy with better cohesion or increased numbers. Men doubt their chances. That, I don't know if I've seen that before. Well, you know what? They broke too. Okay, so Ross didn't take many losses. Alright, Ross resilience is okay. Loss resilience is okay. I think they may get their act together again. Second Brigade is... Well, they're kind of recovering there, aren't they? Let's get Waitman up into line. I want to charge him up there because I want him up in there in the breastworks fast. Go ahead and bring Rains up closer. About to here. Can I give him movement moves? Not really. Will Price's presence help them recover? I don't know. That brigade recovered their morale. They're back in the fight. As far as I can tell, they didn't take any casualties. That's kind of bogus. Okay. Alright, so Texas Germans aren't running anymore, and they're recovering morale. So... And possibly the presence of Price nearby will add another little modifier for them, I hope. We got to get him back in the fight. That's pretty obvious. Oh no, there's that wrong 2nd Brigade. They did keep running. Good. What's going on this end? Well, all these guys are under artillery fire. Let's go ahead and lay all these fellas down. Just get the skirms out in front of the brigade, like so. Not under fire. Let's just lay everybody down up here. Just in case they come under artillery fire later and I don't notice it. Which is quite likely. You guys have seen enough. I miss stuff all the time. Okay, let's bring these skirmishers in to help take these guys under fire. Okay. Clark's firing. Waitman's firing. And there's more Federals coming in. Not gonna lie, I don't know how this one's gonna turn out. I really don't. Waitman's taken some casualties, apparently. Recently suffered... doesn't look too bad. They're firing at an HQ unit, really. I guess he doesn't really have LOS through here. Yes. Okay, we've got a pretty strong Federal attack developing on our right now. And kind of the Achilles heel on this side of the line is that these are all musket-armed troops. Says Pierce has skirms out. I don't know where those skirmishers are. Oh, he's over here. Let's... Pierce, get your skirms back over to this way. Yeah. No, I don't think... just call them in. They won't respond. Things might get a little dicey over here if our guys get outranged. I'm not going to move Daniel up into this breastwork because I think Daniel may be needed in one of these breastwork positions up here. Okay, Folkson has stood back up because he is engaging. Luckily within range. Luckily within range. Okay, Ross's morale is coming back up. He's up to 12%. He's nearly panicked now. And he does have that modifier from Price sitting there. That's good. That's good. Okay, looks like we're beating back the attack on our left. Nice job, Waitman. Hopefully by the time another attack, maybe pretty soon, we can have Ross back up and back up. Federal's too close for Pierce to put skirmishers out. Let's just change his facing a little bit. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. A lot of cap coming. Okay. I think Daniel does need to come over here. What's our casualty situation looking? 1700 to 600. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now the question is this cav going to come straight for our artillery? They sure are facing as if they are. And I don't really have anybody that can do anything about it. That's going to... We can do that, but this is going to expose Pierce's right. And it's just going to come down to, can these artillery get canister in the face of this cav in time? It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Ruh-roh. Our artillery is wrecked. Okay, that was pretty smart. I do this thing where I leave the gap for artillery to shoot through and put them back. I do that a lot. I've never seen the AI successfully break through and charge them out like that. Okay, well, maybe I won't be doing that anymore. Okay, Pierce, advance on these calves. Let's get them out of here. Let's go. Okay, the gloss is up to unstable. Okay, we're holding this off really nice over here. We still have a reserve. Well, you know what? Parsons, get over here. Change Daniel's facing just a little bit. Get more of his guns firing. It's possible this artillery may not fully break. Well, but they've lost the guns, regardless. We need to drive this cav off and then get some detachments to reclaim using our howitzers here. I think that's pretty important. Okay, we're ahead on casualties fairly comfortably, 3-1, but our morale has dropped because of the routed units. It's by no means done. So Waitman's unhappy because of the flanking position of these cav. Luckily, they're not turning and firing on him. Okay, Parsons is now firing on the cav. Okay. I think they're about to bug out. How are casualties doing over here? Olson's taking some yeah. Okay, the cavalry is routing. Or, well, they're showing routing. There they go. Okay, let's get send a detachment to get these guns. Parsons, send a detachment to get these guns. And Pierce, you need to get reoriented this way. So these gunners are recovering their morale here now. Ross is up to nervous, 30%. Okay, let's get Parsons' facing changed. And prepare here to relieve Waitman in the line. Clark's doing fine. It's Waitman who's taking the fire. How is Fulkerson doing? That's not looking good. Don't have any reserves down here anymore. Oh, hold on a minute. I forgot about where is Armaduke. We need you, bro. Pull in your scouts. You don't need those anymore. It's going to have to come down here across. Okay. See if we can get Marmaduke over here and then bring him up in a flanking attack. Like so. I don't know if that... I don't know. We'll see. Let's back Waitman out. Well, shit. Wants to... Honestly, 36. Fulkerson starting to waver. I know I'm going to regret this. Little, rally. It's probably going to get him shot. Federal units are taking good casualties too. Wounded in action. Yeah. That was probably done to put them on rally. That almost... That very common for rallying commanders to get wounded or killed. Now we've got these guys trying to flank us. Okay, well, Ross is up to stable. He's still not looking hot, but you got to come back up, man. Got to have you. Okay, Ferguson is broken, and that's full loss, full resilience loss. He's not going to be coming back. All right, not really getting Pierce to respond. I'm going to back him out of. I'm going to back him out just to get him to kind of move better. We'll go put him up here closer to Daniel. Let's take this. Okay, no longer rallying. Change Clark's facing. He's taking some flanking fire. Texas Germans are coming back up. Intent is to put them right into these breastworks here. And I'm going to move Waitman to this side. Because we need some more rifles on the right side of the line. Because of that, I'm going to move Rains kind of over this way too, kind of keep him between his two brigades. Daniel's in bad shape now. He's going to be breaking before too long. I don't really see a good way to face him without taking this flanking modifier. And this is starting to waver up here. Both sides have taken 19% casualties. It's really... So basically it's a race to who reaches retreat mode first. That's the situation we're in. All the other modifiers don't really matter right now. Because once a retreat phase starts... Oh, at least Daniel's got... let's give him iron this one. Once a retreat phase starts, all the other modifiers don't matter anymore. I don't know why Pierce's detachment never went to go take those guns as ordered. Hang on, Daniel. Hang on. This isn't looking good. Yeah, he's gone. Okay, Texas Germans engaged over here against the 2nd Brigade. And Waitman didn't really go where I told him to. Okay. Battle lost, morale is cracked, retreat. We've entered retreat phase. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, 22% casualties. Okay. We're going to have the Texas Germans just stand here. Clark is broken. Let's have both the Pillows guys do an orderly fallback here. To the extent Pierce is the only guy left. Have him do a fallback to here. Man, it was a close battle. Casualty-wise. May wind up retreating all the way down to Arkansas. Pierce can just pull that detachment in. These guys actually have guns. Are they able to limber them? Yeah. Get those guns out of here. Let's not lose those. So neither of these artillery battalions fully routed off the field. However, there's no point in doing anything with them now. Yeah. See here? We've caused enough casualties where this is saying major victory because of the casualties we've inflicted on the Union. However, it will not turn out that way. We've entered the retreat phase. There's no way out of it. This is irrelevant now, up here. Okay, so I think my biggest mistake in this battle was kind of leaving this open area in the center for the artillery, which is something that I've done often in the past. It's just the AI finally took advantage of that and lost my arty that way. So we need to get some more artillery to the Army of Missouri. May need to send some more infantry. It was a little quirky getting Pierce to kind of respond here in this breastwork position. That was minor though. I don't think that made the difference between the win and the loss. But credit to the AI. I mean, they formed up and they gave us a strong attack on both ends. Pretty good one. Strong attacks. They were lined up over here such that they weren't blocking each other's fields of fire, thereby getting several brigades able to focus fire. And they did a little. They were a little bit more kind of stacked up on each other here, but not too bad. I mean, they had twice as many units. But in the open ground, I think I think AI George Morrell did a great job here, to be honest. And we still wound up, it's 6,000 to 3,000 casualties, still 2-to-1 casualties, but our force being so much smaller, we couldn't afford that. And we're still causing more casualties here, even during the retreat phase. So may as well continue doing that. The artillery commander didn't get him out of there. I think that 2nd Brigade there's multiple 2nd Brigades on the Union side. I think they're getting hurt a little bit worse than Pierce is here. On the other hand, I don't know if there's really any point to taking more casualties. Yeah, all of our units have withdrawn from the battlefield. Retreating orderly. Well, we lost most of our guns. And then the other mistake that I made during that battle was I had just completely forgotten that I had that cap way over on the other part of the map. Marmaduke, I should have pulled him back earlier during the... I should have pulled him back over during the overnight redeployment phase, and I just plain forgot to do so. Anyway, that's okay. It's alright if the AA wins an occasional battle. And it's creating us some problems there in Missouri, Arkansas theater. And we'll just have to see where it goes from here. Not very big a morale drop, and we do get a little bit of military experience rise. Okay. Well, at least nobody got defamed, which would have been pretty likely in that situation. Unless, pretty sure Wadsworth is a Union guy. We don't have a commander named Wadsworth. I was kind of expecting that Ross might get defamed. Or either of those artillery battalion commanders, but apparently not. Well, we didn't capture any rifles in this battle. Let's just double check. There's only room in that newspaper headline. For, well, I can't check yet because, well, I can probably check in this view. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody with a defamed. There's Portier Alexander, commanding the artillery. Huh, this guy kind of snuck through. I think you need a better commander here anyway. Let's see if we can find you one. He's a little better. Little better. Well, maybe that's why that Woodruff was in there. They didn't really have anybody better. Yeah, there we go. Clarence Derrick. Okay. Well, I believe that will do for this episode. A little bit of a setback there. But, that'll give us some more problems to deal with in future episodes. If you like what we're doing with the channel, if you like this content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. If you're new to the series and want to see what has transpired up till now, I'll post a playlist to this series right here in the end card. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.